Hi, everybody. Here we are, Wellness Wednesday. Um, it's such a pleasure to be here with you. And again, this is one of my favorite days of the week. I love Wednesdays because I definitely have tried out different ways to take my time back. Definitely is important for all of us to be in charge of how we spend our time, even though we might think we have no control over our schedule. Wednesday is the day that I have found works for me to just kind of check in with myself and slow down a little bit and take a look at where I've been for the last 3 days, maybe, because that's kind of the chunk of time that is easiest to handle. And also, where am I going for the next 3 days? Am I ready for Thursday, Friday, Saturday? So it's kind of, for me, the Wednesdays and Sundays are really great check-in points during the week. That might be different in your schedule, depending on what's going on for you. But I find that the busyness of Monday and Tuesday has been handled. And then by the time I get to Wednesday, I can just breathe a little bit. The world isn't quite so anxious to have me step up to serve on a Wednesday. Usually it's a little bit quieter of a day. And a lot of times I work evenings or I work Saturdays because not all of my clients are available, during the day or something like that. We've all got things going on. So I have to be really flexible about when I have my downtime. So Wednesdays for me is really a nice day because I know that I have not scheduled anything major on my calendar unless I can possibly, help it. I usually try to keep Wednesdays appointment free so that I can be here with you. And then also I can check in with myself and I can do some of the things that I've maybe, neglected over the last couple of days or weeks or however long, and just have that space to breathe and to know that I've got just a little bit of time, whether it's like 20 minutes or, a little bit of time in the morning or something like that, so I can regroup. So I would love to know how you regroup. What's your day for you to check in with yourself? And I find it really funny. A lot of my clients, when I check in with them, I'm like, so how's it going? What's going on? How you been doing? Oh, pretty good. I love that answer. Oh, pretty good. Okay, great. So tell me specifically, you've been working on, and I'll bring up whatever issue they've been working on, whether that's like sleep or eating better or getting more exercise or whatever the thing is. And they're like, and I'm like, specifically, how much have you exercised this week? Specifically, how much water have you drank this week in ounces? Nobody has a freaking clue. So this is your chance to say, you know what? It's important for me to step into my life and say, hold it, hold it, hold it. I need to check in with myself before I go out and do 1,000 things in the world. So let's have Wellness Wednesdays be, that touchstone for you. And just take this time to acknowledge that you need a little love and care, that you're important, and that you need to put yourself on your schedule. So let's get started. I am starting off on a whole new topic this week. We're going to be talking about 90-day goals. So again, when I ask my clients, what's your plan for, the next 90 days? How are you going to reach that goal? They all have this idea that they're going to lose some weight or improve a relationship or get out of a bad relationship or do some major transformation in their life. And they don't have a plan. They just have hopes and ideas, and they definitely have ideas about what they don't want anymore. But so many times they don't have an idea about how to move forward and actually create that goal and make it happen. Things like, getting in better shape or emotionally healing or getting to another level of my life, that doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you have to do consistently over time. So we're going to start getting our head wrapped around 90-day goals. What's 90 days from now? So right now we're at February 17th something. 90 days from now is May 17th. And I've got a few weeks worth of ideas to give you over the next several weeks of how to set goals. Today, we're going to talk about the mindset secrets to set those goals. We're going to talk about how to make a 90-day plan for exercise, for meal prep. We're going to talk about how stress derails your 90-day goals. We're going to talk about big picture thinking and goal setting over the next several weeks. So by the time we get through and actually plan and think and get into that groove, become that person, embody those practices that it's going to take to get us to those 90-day goals. By that time, we're going to be into summer, ladies. Let's get going on it. All right. So let me show you what I've got for you today. And if you need to grab a quick piece of paper or like a cup of tea or something really quickly, you've got a minute here to do that. But I really want us to, start working on stuff. And I've got a brand new composition notebook here. And I like to have a couple of these around, and I've got also different journals and things. I mean, seriously, we can never do enough looking at things, writing things down, getting a visual on what's going on with our lives. And so I was writing out my 90-day goals. Where are they? Let's see here. So, and again, your goals are always changing and your body is always changing and the seasons are always changing. You need to kind of keep touching in with yourself. But over the springtime, here's what I'd like to work on. I would like to work on better upper body strength. That's for sure, because I'm going to need that upper body strength for summer activities like whitewater rafting or carrying firewood or whatever, wherever I find myself out in the woods. I would like to do more yoga. I would like to work my way back up to 108 sun salutations on the 8 days of the year that are the equinox, solstices, and the midpoints in between. Those are great times to like work up to and then work back down on your sun salutations. So I would like to get back into my practice there. And then I'd love to walk like 3 miles a day, like 4 or 5 days a week, something like that. That would be awesome. And when I'm writing all this down and I'm looking at it, it's like, okay, how long is that going to take to do those exercises or to walk that long or to do the sun salutations? And then I look at, okay, well, that's like an hour or an hour and a half every day of focusing on physical activity. Not impossible, but it's nice to have your mind around that. And then also I have some other goals those are body goals. I have other goals for drinking water, for eating fruits and vegetables, and for mind and spirit as well. I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but in looking at all of that, it's like, okay, to achieve the goals that I want, I need like 3 hours a day. Where am I going to get that 3 hours a day? And a lot of you do not have it. I'll give you that. You do not have it. You could probably carve it out and find it, but a lot of you don't have it unless you start really writing it down and saying, well, actually, it only takes me 20 minutes to get those exercises in. Well, actually, I can walk 1.5 miles in 20 minutes. Well, actually, it only takes me, X amount of time to do meal prep. Once you really, get the parameters on it and then find where it fits in your schedule, and I'm going to be talking about this as we go along, then you start seeing what you can and can't do and what's realistic. I'm going to talk about setting SMART goals and what's not, because honestly, if you can't pull it off, even in the slightest, you're never going to get there. And by the time we get through the next couple of weeks where I give you some solid plans on how to do these 90-day goals, it's going to take that long. I mean, honestly, to get into the groove of it and then actually start achieving those goals. Are you with me? So this isn't just something where it's like, okay, I'm going to drop 40. I hear that all the time from other people, not exactly my clients, but from other people. And it's like, well, That's not something that you do overnight, and that's not something that you do just by exercise or just by restricting food. That is, a major deal, and it takes a lot of time and effort to get there. So let's just take a moment and get settled with ourselves. Be present. Turn off the distractions like phones. Maybe you want to like close the door on whatever, wherever you are. Make this time just for you, and take this space back for yourself. And everything else can wait for just a few minutes while you focus on you. And this is the best way to take care of yourself, is by saying, okay, hold everything. Because the world will keep grabbing at you all the time. I had one client last week. She's like, I set up these boundaries, but no one respects them. And it's like, well, you have to keep setting it. You have to keep saying, yes, this is something that I'm serious about. Yes, this is something that I am going to continue to hold. The universe is always checking to make sure that you're serious about the boundaries that you set, because up until 20 minutes ago, you didn't have one, right? So don't be surprised when, you have to continually say, I am going to say no to things. I am going to set my boundary here on my time, on my emotions, on how much output I can do on a physical, emotional, or psychological level. There's always a limit. And this is no way to live. If you're living like this girl with the stickies all over, and by the way, I do use sticky notes as well, but it's something that doesn't take over you. I hope that you are learning to be more in control of your time. And the way of doing that is to be present right now. It gets you out of clock time and into the present moment. And that's where your transformation happens. That's where you make the changes that are important for these goals. That's where you get clear on, is this an important goal for me? Or am I just doing something because somebody told me to, or because I saw it on TV or something? It's not always super clear. So when we're setting goals, we really need to start with the beginner's mind. Now, this is like a Buddhist concept, an old Zen kind of Buddhism concept, where there's this story about the student who looks for the teacher, the guru, right? And he's like, I'm going to find this guru and I'm going to learn so much from him, and it's going to be great. And I'm so into all of this. And the student goes and he climbs up this mountain, finds the teacher in his little hut, up in the mountains or something, and is invited in for tea by the gracious master. And the student comes in and sits down. He's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found you. I've been searching forever. And the master quietly starts pouring tea into a cup, as is customary to serve your guest. And the student's like, okay. And the dude doesn't say anything. And the student's looking at him like, okay, you're just going to pour me some tea. And the cup starts filling up and gets fuller and fuller and fuller, and is at the brim. And the student is looking at the master going, are you nuts, dude? Stop pouring, and then the cup starts overflowing and spilling out onto the bamboo mat, and there's tea everywhere. And the student finally says, stop, it's full already. What are you doing? And the master finally stops pouring and looks at the student and says, your mind is like this cup. How can I teach you anything if it's already full? So to have beginner's mind, and there's a wonderful book out there, Suzuki Roshi. Oh, I'm probably not getting his name right. I haven't looked at his book for a long time, but it's about beginner's mind. It's about emptying your mind of what you think you know, about the things that you've tried before. Oh, I've tried that before and it didn't work. I hear so many people say that. And it's like, oh, you tried that diet and it didn't work. Well, specifically, what aspects of it did you try out? How long did you do each thing? Did you take notes on it? When things didn't work out, did you change things? Did you try to improve upon it? how long was this process for you? And they're like, I didn't do any of that. And it's like, well, then you didn't even try. But they have this idea already that's like, well, that doesn't work for me. There's already something in there that programs them and tells them, you can't do that, or who do you think you are, or this is a waste of time, or I'm too busy, all of those things. I don't like diets, or I can't exercise, or losing weight is hard for me, or I can't give up the carbs. And over the next several weeks, I'm going to help you bust through some of those mindsets that keep you stuck starting today, but they pervade everything. It's not just about, today we're going to get you to somewhere where you're actually willing to make some changes, where you're actually wanting to become the person who makes these changes. But in order to get there, you have to bust your mindset on exercise, eating, sleeping. I mean, all of it, it all comes together. If you have an exercise goal, sleeping is just as important a part of it as doing the exercise. Any athlete will tell you that. So in order to be objective enough to challenge all of those thoughts, you need to get still and listen to that inner voice. And that means you got to empty out that mind. And I know that's easier said than done, but just acknowledging the fact that you're holding yourself back before you ever get started is a huge step forward. And then start thinking about or listening to all of those thoughts that go through your head, the incessant chain of thoughts that goes through your head. Take each one and bust them apart, question them. Notice how you're judging yourself, how you're judging other people, how you're judging diet programs or exercise programs or other things. And the way that you judge your world, or the way that you feel like you need to make up for, having to work so hard, or the kids being crazy, or having just like kind of an off day, then you might turn to, overeating, indulgences, being too lazy, or binge watching too much, or scrolling too much, smoking, drinking. I mean, I could go on and on of the things that we kind of do to self-soothe. And there's nothing wrong inherently with almost any of those things, but they turn into something that becomes self-destructive, and we use them to avoid those uncomfortable parts of ourselves, those parts of ourselves that we don't want to face, that we don't want to change, that we've told ourselves, well, this is the way it is. I challenge all of that. Are you with me? Throw me some comments, send me a message if you have questions about any of this. But honestly, this is how we move forward, and it's a daily process. So the first mindset secret is you have to remove blocks: mental, emotional, physical, and time blocks. Now, these are all forms of energy. You have so much mental energy to give. You have so much emotional energy to give. You have so much physical energy to give, and you have a specific amount of time to give. Now, I might argue that all of these are, relational and can expand and contract, in different ways, except for maybe time is the most concrete of these. Your mental blocks, the things that you tell yourself that keep you back, your emotional blocks, the things that make you go, ooh, I'm scared to change. What if I fail? What if I succeed? How will other people be affected by what I'm doing? I don't have the confidence for this. Physical blocks, maybe the gym is across town. I remember when I first moved here to Bozeman, there was like one gym in town, and it was way over there. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? But actually, maybe you don't need to go to the gym. Maybe you can remove that physical block and have a home gym. These are all possible things. Time blocks. Well, I don't have any time. Nobody does. Time isn't something you have. Time is something that just keeps on ticking, and you got to, prioritize what's going on. So mental blocks. Why don't you just take a moment? Maybe you want to get out your piece of paper and your pen. What are some of those mental blocks? when I say get healthier, or health and wellness, or fitness, exercise, diet. Are there any more? I don't know. When I say those things, what goes on in your head? Is there something in there that says, I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. I don't have time for that. See how these things kind of even, they spill over into each other. I don't feel like exercising. There's an emotional block that hinders your physical energy. But what I find is when I help my clients remove these blocks, help you question them, help you figure out if they're real, if they're completely true, or if they're kind of true sometime. They just ping, 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 and pop open on different levels. And they all kind of bust open at the same time. And then you kind of emerge like, oh yeah, especially if you don't keep reinforcing them. Because I can talk you in circles all day long, but until you're ready to like surrender and go, yeah, I do that. Yeah, that is a problem for me. I need some solutions for this. I need to stop letting this happen. Now we're talking. Now you got some energy. Now you got some juice flowing. These things, these mental, emotional, physical, and time blocks, they're not as concrete as you think. And they didn't just happen by accident either. You actually keep filling them. You keep making them more concrete by your mental and emotional, psychological patterning. Everybody's got this pattern that keeps them stuck in a rut, keeps them stuck in a dysfunctional pattern. And if you've done any coaching with me, I've probably brought this up and told you, well, hey, here's your pattern. And, here's the major of your two patterns. Now let's work with it. Let's see how we can change the pattern. Let's see how we can change the belief, change the trigger, change the reaction. And we can remove these blocks. So what are your blocks? What are the things that are going to stop you from even starting to think about 90-day goals? Yep, and then we just remove them. Blow them up, cut them out, throw them away, change them up. It's possible. It's possible. So if you're coming up with some of these challenges, some of these blocks, and you want to, type them into the comments, or if you want to send me some questions, I'd be happy to help you, explore these thoughts and figure them out. Because once you can do that, once you have the tools to do that, then you can, on a dime, you can change your energy level and have more mental energy so you can think better and think more clearly. Change up that emotional energy so that you're releasing some of the things that are holding you back needlessly, and process them and learn from them and move on in as much as we can. Can't always move on completely or have total mental clarity. We can change how we feel on a physical level. And I was just talking to one of my high performance coaching clients about how she's so tired all the time. It's like, well, yes, you're tired, but you don't have to wait for the energy to come in order for you to feel energized. You need to generate that energy. That energy just doesn't come and it's like, oh, now I feel like folding the laundry. And that's not going to happen. You generate that energy. And then when you actually do the task, the exercising or the laundry folding or whatever it is, you find that it builds on itself. These things snowball on each other, just like they can all lock together and hold you back. Once they're flowing, they start flowing together, and it's really amazing. All right, so the next mindset secret is you need to build confidence. You need to figure out how you're going to get up every day and be like, yeah, I got this. Yes, I can do this. This is no problem for me. I am a person who does this. So ways to do that. Again, you don't just have confidence. You have to generate it. So mantras. Maybe you recite your favorite mantra, like, I am awesome today. Great. Or maybe you do like, a prayer or a chant or something like that. Great. It can raise your vibration. Absolutely. It can get you out of that, snap you out of that moment for just a minute. Your stance, look at how this girl is standing, she's got her power stance, or when you're standing in front of, a crowd of people and you want to address them, you don't do it all hunched over, and, you stand with confidence. And that's how you have to approach your workouts or your goals, whatever they may be. And for a lot of us, it's going to include a workout. But you have to be like, yeah, I can do this. I got this. Doesn't mean you have to crush it every day. No, but I can approach it with the confidence, knowing that I can do it to my level. Breathing exercises. Breathing exercises are what gets your energy flowing. They're one of the quickest ways to get into, first, the present moment, which is where you make transformation happen. It's where you generate the energy. But it also helps you to get, kind of amped up. So doing like a breath of fire or other breathing exercises that are designed to energize you can be really, really amazing. Chakra exercises. So I always am having my clients do different chakra exercises. Ideally, you want to do a whole system kind of chakra exercise all in a row. But if you need to pull out one that, helps you to energize, it would be the solar plexus exercises, anything that gets this area of your third chakra kind of happening, because that's where the action comes from in your energy field. That's where the confidence is of, why am I doing this? And here's my personal power, and I'm going to put it out there in the world. So again, message me if you'd like to know. I've got a great, I call them either the wood chopper or the sunflower third chakra exercises, are really amazing. And there's lots of other like yoga poses and things that you can do as well. And then when you need to build confidence, I want you to list your accomplishments, whether they're from 10 years ago or 30 years ago or from last week. List your accomplishments. They don't have to be just like physical things, like, whatever when you were a track star or something like that. They can be work accomplishments, or things that you've done around your home, or they can be accomplishments in your personal life. Anything that makes you feel like, I did that. And I think about if I were ever in like an interview or something like that, and someone were to say, what's your biggest, greatest accomplishment? I have maybe a few that I would wrestle with, but undoubtedly it has to be skiing. And even though I'm not like some big major skier, and compared to everybody else up here at Bridger Bowl, like I still kind of suck, but I have dedicated myself to it, and I have suffered through all the challenges that come with it, and I have consistently improved over the last 25 years, and continued to love it, and have found a sense of accomplishment and mastery with it that I have never really put into almost anything else. It's stunning. And I have to thank my husband for that. But it's stunning. He's like, I'm just trying to make you a better skier. I'm like, you're just being a jerk. Slow down. But he is fully responsible in making me the skier that I am today. But I was the one who was suffering on the ski hill, and who was sustaining the injuries, and who was braving the cold, and who was exhausting myself on a weekly basis, during the winter months. And I love it. And I am not going to let that accomplishment fade off into the background. I'm going to be skiing for the rest of my life, and it's fantastic. So whatever that list of accomplishments is, it doesn't have to be anything major for, just these purposes. Whatever, something you did with confidence, or something that makes you feel like you can do anything, because you can. We see it all the time. You're no different than any of the other people who say, today I'm going to start running a marathon. I'm not personally, but you might want to. You can do this. And one of my clients, She is regaining herself after like 8 years of being a mom. And she actually is coming back to her marathon runner status. And I can't wait to see her progress. So it's possible. All right. The third mindset secret, you need to create inspiration. It doesn't just happen. You don't just feel like going and working out. This is something that you strategically do. So creating a vision board. So you might be able to see, I have a vision board behind me that has been manifesting like crazy over the last couple of years. And it's kind of a mix of, a lifestyle that, I've been working on. And it's magic. It's just like this vortex of this cornucopia of vortex, and it just keeps giving me blessings. Well, I just got 3 more poster boards and 3 more big glue sticks. I've got a bunch of magazines. I'm going to go out on the hunt again for some freebie magazines, and I'm going to do a health and fitness vision board. I'm going to do another lifestyle vision board, lifestyle/vacation vision board. We'll see what I come up with and how I start using it. Vision boards are awesome. Now, you don't have to do the craft project like I'm going to do, but I love me a little bit of glitter and it's cutting out some, it helps you to focus in, and it helps you to put your intention on that. But you don't have to have a physical vision board. You can have one, Pinterest is its own kind of vision board. I have, tons of inspiration there. You can make your own photo collage and have it on your phone so that you're always looking at it. Whatever it is, it's something that helps you visually remind yourself of what you're working on and the person that you are on the inside. And the universe responds to that. If you don't trust me and you want to hear some of my manifestation stories from that vision board, I should just do a whole post on it. It's amazing. Mentors. Find someone either in your community or online that you can look up to. That one person who's like, they're doing it. And you're like, God, I wish I could be like them. Follow them online. Do what they do to whatever extent that makes sense to you or that feels right for you. Just having them in your daily, when you're feeling depressed or when you're feeling like you can't do it or when you're feeling defeated, then pop out one of their podcasts or something and just listen. You don't have to transform yourself overnight. Another one of my clients texted me yesterday and she's like, I feel so awful. And I've been journaling and I've been doing gratitude and I just can't snap out of it. And it's like, well, it's not exactly for you to snap out of, but I would recommend, and I gave her a couple of, resources, just listen. And you don't have to change anything. You can still feel hurt after listening to these podcasts or whatever I gave her, but just do the listening part. Just let their guidance influence you. And eventually that starts snowballing on itself. I also want you to surround yourself with people you look up to. Take a look at who you hang out with, who you spend your time with, who you give your energy to. Are they people who are vibing at your level or higher? Now, we can't always, choose everybody that we hang out with all the time. But I really want you to look at who you're hanging out with, who you're spending time with, who you are engaging in activity with. Are they vibing at your vibe or higher? Or do you have to come down to their level? Which might be fun. You can relate on that level as well. But is that really helping you? If you're sabotaging yourself every weekend to go and do activities with the wrong group of people, how do you, are you going to make up for that? Or wouldn't you want to find activities or people who keep you on that upper level? That doesn't mean that your old friends get thrown away exactly, but you just manage your time better and make sure that you are keeping yourself on a higher vibe than what you normally gravitate to. And you need to do that by surrounding yourself with people who are higher achievers. So if I wanted to do that, I would find some women who are better skiers than me and try to tag along and keep up. right? Which I have done. And there are some awesome women skiers out there. Holy buckets. Then I also want you to set a reward. Maybe it's a weekly reward, a monthly reward, or a 90-day reward. All three, go for it. You can't reward yourself enough because, honey, if you're even just thinking about this, if you just create the vision board, if that's the only level you've gotten to and working with some mindset stuff, you're already on your way to transformation. Chalk that up, mark it down, right? Give yourself a pat on the back and take yourself out for a mocha. It's awesome. It's awesome. Every little bit builds on itself. Absolutely. So whatever that reward looks like, I try not to make it like actually like indulgence food and beverages. Like I'm going to do this and then I'm going to drink 6 glasses of wine. Not the right kind of reward. Again, there's nothing wrong with drinking wine or something like that, but I don't want us to associate, I'm going to work out and then I'm going to pig out. Like that doesn't make sense, right? That's again, the mindset thing of I'm punishing myself and rewarding myself. Let's get off that horse. I'll talk more about that in the sessions to come. Quotes, there's quotes all over out there. Get yourself a little stockpile of quotes. On my Pinterest, I have like mindset quotes, a whole board that has mindset quotes so that when I'm feeling a little blah, then I can just scroll that really quick and be like, right, that is, I know it. Okay, got it. All right, I'm going to try. It's helpful. And not just any quotes. I want you to cultivate a collection of things that work towards you. So whether that's exercise quotes or whether that's confidence quotes or whether that's self-care quotes, I don't care. I mean, whatever it is that helps you. But again, we have to create this inspiration, this motivation. It's not just going to be like, la, I feel like exercising now and I'm always going to eat healthy and something happened and I don't know what. No, you need to generate that shit. All right. So these are all little tools that we just keep putting them together and it keeps helping us raise that vibration a little bit at a time and then sustain it. And then I want you to tell a friend. I don't want you to get on social and announce that you're going to drop 40. That's a huge mistake. Huge mistake. And I see people doing it sometimes. It's a huge mistake. I want you to pick one trusted individual. Maybe it's your mom or a sister. Maybe it's your coworker. Maybe it's somebody in your mommy club. Maybe it's your husband. But tell a friend what you're doing. Saying, okay, I'm doing a vision board. Want to do it with me? They don't have to. I'm setting some 90-day goals. Can I tell you what they are? And would you help me like check in? Because I tell you what, when someone knows that you're going to do something, not the whole world, that's a recipe for failure. But when someone you look up to and someone you trust knows that you have set a goal for yourself, you're more likely to achieve that goal. I mean, seriously, like that accountability, it's huge. And if you don't have someone like that, message me. You can be accountable with me. I'm always right here for you. Those are the 3 steps. Remove blocks, build confidence, and create inspiration. So let's just kind of, brainstorm for another minute here. What would you like to improve most about your health and fitness? Now, this may be like, I want to lose weight, but let's try to go farther than that. I want to be able to row a river raft through whitewater. I can row a river raft on flat water. That's no problem. I can probably handle level 1 or 2 whitewater, working on it. Level 3, I probably have a panic attack. But if I worked on my confidence, if I worked on practicing more rowing, which it's not completely up to me, if I worked on my upper body and core strength, then I'm pretty sure, and watched a lot more rafting videos, which is no problem because all my husband and I do are watch rafting and skiing videos. If I were to do that, I would have so much more ability to row in whitewater. So that's one of my goals. What are you willing to change in order to achieve this? Well, the only thing I really need to change is I need to incorporate more upper body exercise. So more push-ups, more weightlifting, more core fitness. I don't mind the push-ups and the weightlifting. The core fitness, it's kind of boring, but I'll do it. It's not a problem, but it's just doing it, right? And when you have, it's not about I want to get a flat stomach, because if I haven't gotten one by now in my life, who cares, right? But I want to get stronger so I can row that raft on whatever river we choose. That's a pretty good goal. That's kind of more motivating than I want to lose 40 pounds, which I don't know that I could really lose 40 pounds without sacrificing a lot of muscle, but like, that's not one of my goals. But one of my goals is to become stronger. One of my goals is to retain my strength and flexibility as I age. One of my goals is so I can ski when I'm 80, so that when I go to Bridger Bowl when I'm 80 and they finally say, yeah, you can ski for free. I'm like, I earned this. What am I willing to change in order to achieve this? I need to, schedule those upper body and core strength workouts. What do I need to change? I need to fit it in the morning before I do anything else. It's not super hard. It's actually logistical, and I have time in my schedule to do that because it really only takes about 20 minutes to get in the kind of workout that I need. I know what to do. Next question, what skills or tools do you need to acquire? I know what to do. I know how to work on those things. Maybe you need to get a yoga mat. Maybe you need to get some new running shoes. Maybe if I were to switch to my other example, maybe I want to get some backcountry skis so that I don't have to go up to, the ski area anymore and can just do backcountry. What skills or tools do you need to make this change? And sometimes the tools are not what you think. Maybe they're like energy drinks. Maybe the tools are a juicer. Maybe the tool is a better bed so you sleep better. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always just about exercise or just about food. And then the last question here, how are you going to track your progress? If you're not tracking it, you're not making any changes, I promise you. And it goes back to when I ask my clients and they come in and they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. And it's like, okay, well, so what specifically have you been doing for exercise this week? Well, I kind of missed this week because, and then all the excuses come out and they thought they were doing so good, but then when they really think about it and have to actually come up with a number and quantify things, they don't know, or they're not doing as well as they tell themselves. Watch out for that. So get a little journal, get something going on your phone, which is actually really easy. Something where you are tracking and you are checking in, not just tracking what you do every day, because I tell you what, it's hard to remember what you did 3 days ago. So track what you do every day and then look back once a week on your check-in day, Wednesday or Sunday or whenever it is, and look at the whole week. How did you do on sleep? Are there days where you didn't get the right sleep? What happened? Take a look at your, steps per day, whatever your goal is there. Are there days where you didn't meet that goal? What happened? Oh, look, it's also the days I didn't sleep well. And you start to put patterns together. And then you can come up with strategies about how you are going to stop this from happening and change it up a little bit, right? All right, so remove those blocks. Build that confidence. Create inspiration. And then get that plan working. what are you going to do to improve your health and fitness over the next 90 days? Does it include diet? Does it include exercise? Does it include sleep? Are you going to drink more water? Are you going to consume less social media? What is it that is going to get you over that edge from wanting to do it to actually doing it? So I just want to thank you for jumping on and spending some time with me. As always, you can find me here Wednesday mornings, 10 a.m. and just message me anytime. You can find me all over the place. You all know where I'm at. But I want to hear from you. I want to know what you've been doing. I want to know what's challenging for you. I want to know what questions you might have. And this is just, for those of you who work with me, this is just mindset stuff, and it's where we begin. It's the foundation for making profound changes on every level, body, mind, and spirit, is starting with right here. How are we thinking about things? What are we telling ourselves? And then changing the channel, tuning into something better, raising that frequency. So I hope this has been helpful, and stay tuned with me next week, because I'm going to show you how to set up a 90-day exercise goal. From that big goal of, walking 3 miles a day or whatever your exercise goal is, and then how we chunk it down and put it into measurable, actionable steps. It's awesome stuff. So join me next week. Until then, take really, really great care of yourself, and I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for joining me.